quite a few years ago, there was a group of us that decided we wanted to work on this lower part of Rose Creek and Fourmile.
We literally sat around the kitchen table, and I have a big kitchen table, and talked about, what do you feel about this area?
And so Washington State University and the PCEI and my family got together and we put in a grant to kind of get it going. And now we've got well over a mile of streambank and habitat restoration.
Fourmile Creek Watershed, I think, is unique in that we have a lot of different organizations and landowners that have come together to want to restore their property.
We've got the Palouse Clearwater Environmental Institute. They manage the 22-acre Rose Creek Nature Preserve. We also have the Washington State University George Hudson Biological Reserve, and they are managing 800 acres along Fourmile and Rose Creeks. We've got several private land managers as well. And we, as the Palouse Conservation District, we work with the land managers and entities along the creeks to implement habitat restoration, including riparian and upland restoration. And what that means is essentially that we secure funds, manpower, plants, and equipment to improve water quality through these restoration projects.
The neighboring landowners, Washington State University, Clark Farms, and then also we do a lot of work with the Palouse Conservation District with the different stream restoration projects. All of that's critical.
Having such a big landmass, we're able to connect the dots of like a lot of different projects and essentially almost have one very long and natural area that would reach miles. And the bigger the corridor, I think the bigger the impact.
And with the work that's being done now, this will extend all the way down to the South Fork of the Palouse River.
All of these projects are a part of the Lower Fourmile Creek Watershed.
A watershed is an area of land that any water that falls within that area of land, it drains to a single point.
Riparian area is essentially a transition zone between your stream and your upland ecosystems. It's a vegetated area that connects the two.
Riparian restoration is converting areas back to a native tree and shrub ecosystem.
With riparian restoration, we can help decrease soil erosion, we can help filter pollutants, we can help shade the stream, we can create habitat for animals.
That was one of the original things that really appealed to me, was stabilizing some of the bank and trying to let that stream flow a little more natural.
So the methods we're using to restore the riparian area is planting native trees and shrubs.
I do a lot of in-stream structures, BDAs, which are essentially fake beaver dams. Beaver dam analogs is what BDA stands for. Anything I can do to help get plants established, slow down water, capture sediment, decrease soil erosion, all sorts of good stuff.
So what we've seen so far is a tremendous survival rate of these plantings, and that is amazing to see along these streams.
This area is a great area to bring out students of all ages.
The types of education that this riparian restoration project here is really important. It extends from undergraduates who are within our courses in biology and School of the Environment.
There's a restoration ecology class that has, for a couple of years, had lab classes that come out and work on the plantings.
Students can get real life skill training. And then the graduate training is really important. Graduate students from both Washington State University and University of Idaho are interested in, how can we best restore habitats.
Another area of continuing education is that we bring in technical professionals from the Columbia Basin Riparian Planting Partnership and other entities to do job training and use the space as a demonstration space for successful riparian projects.
It's not open just for people to wander in anytime, but if anybody asks to take any kind of a field trip or whatever, we accommodate them.
My hope for the future is that it is a long-standing record of the natural communities here where we can better understand not only the past, but then the future.
We're only here for a little while. And the land's going to be here a lot longer than we will.
What will this look like in 100 years or 200 years that we're able to put in motion now that if we waited too much longer, we might not have that opportunity?
So I don't think that we can really say we truly own this land. I think that we have to steward it, that we have to be realistic with the fact that what we do on our land really impacts everybody.
This is the only earth we have, and we are responsible for making sure that this ground is going to be here many generations from now.